Hello students, I'm happy to be back with another video of Unit 30 from Class 11's Compulsory English book, question answer series of poem number 3, and the title of the poem is All the World's a Stage. Students, let's begin. Turn to page 250, understanding the text. Answer the following questions. A. Why does the poet compare the world with a stage? Answer. The poet compares the world with a stage because world is just like a stage for us all. As the actors and actresses appear on the stage, play their part and go away, in the same manner we people also come to this world at different times. At different stages of our life, we have different roles to play. And when the time comes, we die or go away from this world. So this world is just like a stage for us all. B. What is the first stage in a human's life? In what sense can it be a troubling stage? Answer. The first stage in a human's life is of a newly born child who is completely dependent on his mother or the nurse who takes care of him. He cries and vomits in their arm and needs proper care and love. As the baby is quite helpless and completely dependent on others, this stage can be a troubling stage. C. Describe the second stage of life based on the poem. Answer. The second stage of life is of a schoolboy carrying a school bag who unwillingly goes to school. He has a shining morning face, which is a sign of a bright future. D. Why is the last stage called second childhood? Answer. The last stage of man is called second childhood, as in this stage the man loses his teeth, visual power, sense of taste, hearing power, and in fact everything. He will be wearing spectacles. His body will be lean and thin and very weak. At this stage, he will be again totally dependent on others, just like in his childhood. He has to be looked after and taken good care of. E. In what sense are we the players in the world stage? Answer. We are the players in the world stage. We are born and we have different roles to play at various stages of our life. And just like the players or performers on the stage, after playing our role, which is quite different from one another, we take leave or exit from the world stage when we die. We don't know what is written in our destiny, but we play our part and leave the stage when the time comes for us to leave. Now, reference to the context. A. Explain the following lines. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Answer. The given lines are taken from a world-famous poem called All the World's a Stage, written by William Shakespeare, who is a renowned English poet, dramatist, and actor of the Renaissance period. In this poem, the poet has compared the world with a stage and all the men and women as players. As we are born, we come to this world, we play different parts at different stages of our life. Then, when the time comes, we have to die, and thus we leave the world as the performers leave the stage after playing their part. So, he has compared the whole world to a stage and all the men and women as the characters of the play. B. Explain the following lines briefly with reference to the context. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. Answer. Here also you have to begin your answer saying the given lines are taken from a world famous poem called All the World's a Stage, written by William Shakespeare, who is a renowned English poet, dramatist, and actor of the Renaissance period. In these lines, the poet is trying to say that we, men and women, are born in this world at different times, and we also die at different times. So we have our own entrance and exit from this world. A man plays various roles at different stages of his life. Once the man is born, he has to play the 7 roles, that is, of a child, a schoolboy, a lover, an angry young man, a wise gentleman, old man, and a weak, dying old man. So, a man in his lifetime plays many parts or roles. C. Read the given lines and answer the questions that follow. Then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail, unwilling to school. 1. Which stage of life is being referred to here by the poet? Answer. The poet is referring to a second stage of life, that is, of a schoolboy or childhood. Number 2. Which figure of speech has been employed in the second line? Answer. The use of language which differs from the literal meaning of words is called the figurative language. So, figurative language is used as a literary device in the second line. It says that the boy has a shining morning face, and yet he is creeping like a snail, unwilling to go to school. We can see that they contrast each other in meaning. Question number 3. Who is compared to the snail? Answer. The little schoolboy is compared to a snail. Number 4. Does the boy go to the school willingly? Answer. No. The boy goes to school very reluctantly or unwillingly, crawling like a snail or creeping like a snail. D. Simile and metaphor are the 2 major poetic devices used in this poem. Explain citing examples of each. Answer. Shakespeare uses various simile and metaphors as major poetic devices at different places in this poem. Like, for example, he compares the world to a stage and men and women as the players or performers of the play. He compares entrance of a man as birth and exit as his death. He indicates entrance of a man as his birth and exit as his death. These are the similes used in the poem. He uses various metaphors as below. For schoolboy, creeping snail. For lover, furnace, shine like a furnace. For an angry young man, a pard or leopard, and a soldier. For reputation, bubble, which means temporary and momentary. For an old man's voice, childish treble. For a dying old man's behavior, second childishness. And for human life, strange, eventful history. E. Which style does the poet use to express his emotions about how he thinks that the world is a stage and all the people living in it are mere players. Answer. The poem is written in the blank verse with regular but unrhymed lines. The poet uses a narrative style to express his emotions about how he thinks that the world is just like a stage and men and women living in it are like players. He has described a total of 7 stages in a man's life. F. What is the theme of this poem? Answer. The theme of this poem is life and 7 stages of human beings' life. Once the man is born and enters this world, he is quite helpless and completely dependent on others. He has to complete 7 stages of his life. At the last stage also, he becomes very old, weak, helpless, and dependent on others. Now, reference beyond the text. A. Describe the various stages of a human's life picturized in the poem, All the World's a Stage. Answer. In the poem, All the World's a Stage, the poet William Shakespeare has described the world as a stage and the people as the players or performers in the play. The man enters the stage of the world with his birth and exits it with his death. During his life, he has to enact 7 stages which are described as follows. The first stage of a man begins when he is born. He makes an entrance into this world as a small baby who cries and vomits in the arms of his mother or the nurse who takes care of him. He is quite helpless and is completely dependent on others. This phase is the first stage of human life. Then comes the second stage of a schoolboy whose face is bright as the morning, but who goes to school reluctantly, carrying a school bag and creeping like a snail. After that comes the third stage of a passionate lover, when the young boy shies like a furnace, becomes red with shyness, and is very nervous. As he is a teenage boy, he is highly attracted to the opposite sex. He falls in love at this stage and is very attractive in his looks. After this comes the fourth stage, when the lover boy matures into an angry young man or devoted soldier who is very egoistic and a real fighter. He is ready to jump into the cannon's mouth if need be. He is also very ambitious at this stage, works very hard to make a career, but he lacks maturity and the experience. He is jealous in honor, ready to fight any time, and is always running after the bubble reputation. He is ready to do anything for his name and fame. The fifth stage is of an intelligent and well-experienced, mature gentleman who does justice to all. He is physically also quite robust, with a round belly and a beard of formal cut. He is wise with modern instances and well settled in life. The sixth stage is the retirement stage of an old man with a slippered pantaloon who slowly becomes lean again. He has to wear spectacles and he has pouch of belly fat sagging at the 2 sides of his belly. His manly voice also becomes shaky at this stage. The seventh stage is the last stage when the man loses his teeth visual power, sense of taste, and in fact everything, and becomes weak and helpless just like a child. He is totally dependent on others and at last he dies. Thus, he exits from this world. B. Is Shakespeare's comparison of human's life with a drama stage apt? How? Answer: yes. Shakespeare's comparison of human's life with a drama stage is correct. World is just like a stage where men and women are taken as the players or performers of the drama. They enter the stage by their birth. They enact the 7 stages of their life as destiny wants and leave the stage when they die. It means that they enter the world, play their part, and then leave, just like the actors and actresses of the play. Students, this is the end of our lesson today. So see you all in our next class.